So you want to be desired, you want to be admired or noticed. But when someone gets too close emotionally, you pull away. It's like you're only there for the thrills, you're only there for the fun. But when it starts getting a bit too deep, when they start asking you a bit too many questions, you back up and be like, bro, slow down, because you don't want to be seen. And a lot of us as women, we were not seen emotionally in our childhood. So we don't know what it looks like to actually be seen in our relationships, be seen in our friendships, be seen in our careers. We are hiding, a lot of us. Not only do we hide with hair, makeup, nails, filtered photos, perfect images. Not only do we hide with traveling or making money, we hide a lot emotionally, so no one can actually get close to us. We don't actually want people to see the real us, so we just project the image, because if you reject that image, it's easier than me showing you my whole self and you rejecting me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about emotional unavailability. I'm going to be talking about what it is, where it came from, and how we can overcome it going forward. And I feel like this topic is very, very important, especially to women in the 21st century. I think most women don't realize how emotionally unavailable they are and how they are not actually showing up to life with their full self, whether that's to relationships, to their jobs, their career, their goals, their ambitions. You're just not showing up as your full self. So I'm going to share some of the reasons why, where it came from, share a bit of my personal story and my experience with emotional unavailability as well. So whatever you're drinking, grab your tea, your coffee, and let's get into today's video. So emotional unavailability is the difficulty in assessing, expressing, or sharing your inner emotional world. Wow. So basically, it looks like being in your head a lot and not being in your body, not being attuned to how you feel. And so what is so bad about that? Well, we are feeling and emotional beings. The best part of life is in how you are showing up and how you feel within it. So if you are unaware or unable to express how you're feeling now or at any given time, you are actually not even living truly. You are living basically numb. And I remember a time in my life that this whole thing came to the surface for me. And I don't think this occasion caused it, but I definitely feel like it revealed it. It definitely revealed what I had been dealing with my whole life, that I didn't really have a name for it. Now, if you've been following my channel for a considerable amount of time, I have mentioned it quite a lot. And the thing that happened was my auntie passed away from cancer, and she was the first real death that I ever experienced in my life. Of course, there were other family members that passed away, but I wasn't alive. So being from a very, close family, it was very, very hard for me to deal with death. It was very, very hard for me to understand what was going on. And I think I suppressed my feelings a lot. I think I very much held down how I was feeling. The point I actually had to go and find a therapist to unlock me, because the thing about numbing pain or uncomfortable emotions is that you can't numb one without numbing the other. So you can't numb pain and feel love, and you can't numb love and feel pain. So you end up not actually feeling the broad range of your emotions. And don't let anyone tell you that you being able to express your emotions is you doing too much. Now, there's a difference between being emotional and having emotions, okay? The biggest part about being a human is our ability to feel, so that nobody take that away from you. But I did do a whole video about how to feel your feelings, so I won't go into that right now. So these are just a few ways how this emotional unavailability shows up. And I'm going to give you 20 signs to see and to assess yourself whether you are emotionally unavailable. These are just random examples, giving facts instead of feelings in a conflict, struggling to name emotions beyond I'm fine or I'm angry, or, some people don't even say they're angry, they just say, I'm annoyed. That's one thing that people say, I'm annoyed, or I'm pissed off. Why are you pissed off? One thing I heard someone say recently, that basically anger is just simply sadness suppressed. Wow. But sometimes when we're feeling angry, what we're really feeling is sad. So another way this manifests is keeping walls up in relationships, even when you want closeness. So you may say you want to make friends, but every time you go out in social settings, you are so guarded. You're that person standing in the corner or looking standoffish, or just like deciding that you're going to close yourself off before you even get there. And as much as you desire it and you want it, and even it applies to relationships, you say you want to be in a relationship, but the sight of men, you just can't. If a guy comes to talk to you, you don't know what to do. You actually don't know what to do. You actually freeze. And the last thing is feeling discomfort or fear when someone else opens up. So you're the type of person, when someone starts to cry, you don't know what to do. It could be a sign that you're emotionally unavailable. Or if when someone opens up or shares something that happened to them that is tragic, sad, disappointing, you actually don't know what to say apart from, oh my God, really? Or that's messed up, or that. You don't know what to do, and you just kind of want to get it over and done with. So there's actually a psychological term, and it's called alexithymia, and it's a condition where people struggle to identify and describe emotions, not permanent, but common in those with childhood emotional neglect. Also a defense mechanism where your brain keeps you in logic to avoid the risk of pain. So if you stay in your head, your heart doesn't actually have to feel anything. And that's one thing, I'm still working on it. I'm not even gonna lie, that one thing, I can read myself. I can tell you what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, but I can't express the emotions that I'm feeling. Recently, I've been challenged to start identifying emotions and digging deep. And I think for me, the reason why I struggled, and I do struggle with emotions, is because growing up, I feel like I was actually very much like neglected, in a sense where I wasn't spoken to, I wasn't counseled, I wasn't asked like, hello, my little love, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? You know, apart from, how was school, all of that kind of stuff. I never really got a conversation from my caregiver, which was my mom. And so I ended up going into my own world, doing my own thing, still doing my own thing, still in my own world, but going into my own world and doing my own thing and feeling safe in that world that I created. Nevertheless, because my mum never actively asked me how I feel about things, I didn't even know what emotions were. I didn't even know how to express them. Never knew what to say. Feeling scared, lonely, sad. Yeah, I don't remember ever having a chance to express myself or even understand my emotions. So that creates a pattern of avoidance, because you feel uncomfortable, but you can't pinpoint it. And then you have a fear that if you pinpoint it, it will be so overwhelming that you just don't even know what to do with it. So you just stuff it down. And so that's what I experienced. So these are 20 signs of emotional unavailability within women. So like I said, you intellectualize instead of feeling. So in the conflict, you respond with logic, facts, or debating points rather than saying how you feel. And I am so guilty of this. I can tell you the whole story, and sometimes it comes across as accusation as opposed to saying how I feel. For instance, if one of my friends hurt my feeling and I was feeling hurt or sad about it, I would just say like, what you did was so weird. Like, I just feel like you're weird. And that's just not helpful. Like, that's actually not helpful, because then they're like, what do you mean I'm weird? Then they feel like you're calling them names, and they change the conversation completely, because now you're starting to argue about a separate issue. Whereas I could have said, when you said that, or when you made that comment, I was really offended and it really hurt my feelings when you said that. No emotionally intelligent person can argue with how you feel. But the thing is, in arguments or disagreements, we don't come with how we feel. We come with facts, attack, deflect, project, push away, distance ourselves, just ghost people, instead of actually saying like, when you did that, it kind of scared me a little bit. I felt a bit rejected by when you did that, when you chose to go out with that girl that I'm not cool with. Or in a romantic relationship, I'm very, very good at, telling you all the facts. Like, well, it was 7:05 on Tuesday, September 2022, and you said that you was going to come down and see me, and you didn't come down and see me, and then the next weekend you didn't come down and see me. Instead of just being like, babe, I miss you so much. You're working so much. I need a bit of your time. I feel lonely. I feel sad. Who can argue with that? See how soft and feminine that is compared to the arguing, the pointing the fingers, the deflecting, the projecting, the rejecting. See how feminine that is. Who can argue with that? Babe, I don't hate that you're working. I don't hate that you have a job. I don't hate your job. I just want to spend time with you. That is such a better approach, easier to receive. But the reason why we struggle with that is because it takes us to humble ourselves, to show weakness, to show that we need someone that, you know, shows your friend that actually you do have the power to hurt me and you did hurt me. I don't like that because I feel quite small right now. To be able to say that to someone when you want to beat your chest and be like, I don't care. If he rejected me, he's the idiot. Can't see girl like me. He must be blind, as opposed to being honest and be like, ouch, ghosted me. I really liked him. I really liked that one. I feel really sad about it. And go over to your friend's house and eat some ice cream. Like, it's actually okay to feel. But now we want to be like, nah, he doesn't deserve you. Da 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 da. On to the next one. It's a cover-up from actually being vulnerable. And I will say this, in the dating world, what I'm noticing nowadays is that there's a lack of vulnerability from both women and men. So in the absence of that softness and that genuineness and that honesty of like, yeah, I like you. Oh, you like me? Cool. But in that fear of being rejected, you just never tell the person how you feel. I feel like this has happened to someone that's watching now. You weren't upfront with how you felt about the person, and that person really did like you, whether they showed it or not, but they moved on with somebody else. They're just like, I really wish you opened up more. That's the emotional unavailability that I feel is keeping a lot of women single, because I genuinely feel like men want to see that softness. And when you have pain, it's very hard to show up as your full self. You're always protecting that part of you. And so no one actually ever gets to experience the fullness of who you are. And I've seen online different like dating scenarios, or I've seen people out in real life and it's like, women, you're single, but you're not available. Like, you're single, but you're not nice. You're single, but you're not bubbling. Oh yeah, I was watching recently the Pop the Balloon show. I literally have seen it for years, but I've never once watched the episode. I was like studying it. I was like, this is actually a good show to study. As someone that loves to talk about relationships, the girls that the guys liked weren't always the most beautiful ones there, but they were the ones that were the most bubbly, soft, cute, feminine, positive, gave that good energy. And even in the comments, I've watched 2 videos. In the comments, everyone says like Arlette, the host of the show, they love her. They love her. They think she's so beautiful. They're always giving her compliments. And it's not because she's a supermodel. She's beautiful. But it's not because she's a supermodel that people receive her in that way. It's because she's not guarded emotionally. And when you're not guarded emotionally, people get to see the real you. And I fear that a lot of women are not allowing men to see who they really are. So they're actually being overlooked. So it's not your looks, it's not your body, it's your aura, it's your essence. It's not there because you are guarding yourself, because you are emotionally unavailable. Now, this is sign 2 that you are emotionally unavailable. You struggle to name emotions. So if I asked you, how do you feel right now? Would you be able to tell me like that? Or would you divert to, I'm fine, I'm okay, or I don't know? I feel like the worst one for me, like in a relationship, when someone says, I don't know, I'm like, can you try to know? Can you help me out a little bit? Tell me how you're feeling. I don't know. And it kind of shuts down the conversation, but we need to know. We need to be able to identify it. And I got a free download for you guys called the Emotional Calculator. And this helps you to identify your emotions. There's a free download down in the description box below. The third sign that you're emotionally unavailable is you avoid vulnerability. So you avoid talking about your fears, your insecurities, or even like your deep desires, like what you really want. Like, some of you guys are literally so scared to be like, yes, I want to be married. I want to have 4 kids. I want to live in this state. I want to live in this house. You may be able to say the lifestyle part, but you can't say, I want a husband. You can't say, I want to be a wife, because it's almost like the girlies, the community, the girls are going to be like, ew, such a pick-me. You're not a pick-me because you want a relationship. You're not a pick-me because you're being honest about what you desire. So let nobody kill that for you. And a lot of you are not actually getting what you desire because you keep on secretly hiding it like you don't want it. You act like you don't want it when you do want it. And you're never going to get what you pretend not to want, because you don't have that drive and that ambition to go after it. So sign number 4 that you're unemotionally unavailable is you keep relationships surface level. So you're great at talking about ideas, about work, about other people, but you rarely open up about yourself. And this is the thing that I feel about gossip. I don't think it's always from a malicious intent, but it's so much easier to talk about others and what others are not doing and what others are doing and what others are achieving and what others are failing at. Instead of saying, oh, I feel so bummed that relationship didn't work out. I feel so bummed that I got divorced. I feel so sad. I feel like I failed. You'd rather talk about that person that you saw on that gossip site that just got divorced. You'd rather make the whole conversation around that person to deflect and to hide what you're actually feeling about yourself. And what I realize in life that most of the things that we do and say is all projection. I'm gonna put just to lighten the mood a bit, I'm gonna put a video on the screen that we can all laugh at together, because this is the absolute sign of projection. And this is what we do in relationships so much. Like, we project onto other people majority of the time. Whenever you point a finger, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. Most of the things that we do, most of the things that we say online, most of the things that we gossip about is the projection of us. And you have to be careful, because a trained ear, and let's bring it back to relationships. If you are dating, like you're out here dating, a guy that is emotionally intelligent, a guy that's emotionally aware and mature, and trust me, there are a lot of guys that are. They just don't come off in the same way that women who are emotionally aware are. They won't be talking about psychology. They won't be doing them a lot. You probably won't even know when a guy's emotionally intelligent. He'll just be listening and taking mental notes and asking you questions and seeing how you answer. And you're like, oh, the date went really great. But that guy was taking mental notes and he's gone back home and he's like, nah, she's not it. She's not it. She doesn't have that openness. She doesn't have that depth. She doesn't have that emotional awareness. Guys don't show their cards as much as women do. So there may have been reasons why that guy did not text you back, why he stopped replying, why he blocked you, why he ghosted you, why he didn't ask you out for a second or third date. And it's not always what we think it is. Sometimes guys are looking for a woman to give them something emotionally. And if you don't have it to give, if you are emotionally unavailable, how are you going to give it? And you guys said that you're looking for emotionally available men. Well, are you emotionally available? And being emotionally available isn't just about, being able to divert information and trauma dump on people and tell them about all the things that you suffered in your childhood, all the things that happened to you, all of the drama. That's not being emotionally aware. That's being actually emotionally immature. Because when you don't know someone, they do not deserve that level of dumping. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be dumped on like that. Moving on. Number 5, you crave attention, but you fear intimacy. So you want to be desired, you want to be admired or noticed, but when someone gets too close emotionally, you pull away. It's like you're only there for the thrills, you're only there for the fun, but when it starts getting a bit too deep, when they start asking you a bit too many questions, you back up and be like, bro, slow down, because you don't want to be seen. And a lot of us as women, we were not seen emotionally in our childhood. So we don't know what it looks like to actually be seen in our relationships, be seen in our friendships, be seen in our careers. We are hiding, a lot of us. Not only do we hide with hair, makeup, nails, filtered photos, perfect images. Not only do we hide with traveling or making money, we hide a lot emotionally, so no one can actually get close to us. We don't actually want people to see the real us, so we just project the image, because if you reject that image, it's easier than me showing you my whole self and you rejecting me. So I actually have a client call in about 15 minutes, so I have to be very, very quick with these last ones. But if you do want a client call with me, you want a one-to-one, you need unbiased, straightforward advice, click the link down below and book a session with me. You will not regret it. You will get so much clarity from our conversation that whatever decision that you are trying to make, that you are wrestling with, that is literally keeping you up at night, 1 or 2 hours of me, there'll be a breakthrough. So check the description box. Number 6, you withdraw when overwhelmed. Instead of saying I feel hurt or I feel scared, you just shut down like a turtle into your shell or into your cocoon and you don't come out. You either go silent or you just completely disappear. Number 7, you struggle to receive love. You struggle to receive compliments, affection, or even someone being too caring makes you feel uncomfortable. Or you get very suspicious, like, what does she want? What does he want? What do they want? They just want to love you. They're genuinely concerned about you. And I've seen this manifest a lot For instance, a woman would be in hospital and she won't tell anybody that she's in hospital. But then when she comes out of hospital and she tells people that she was in hospital, she'll say, no one came and checked up on me, but nobody even knew you was in hospital because you didn't tell anybody. So it's almost like you're always constantly setting people up to fail. You never communicate your needs because you don't want people to see you. That's going to burn someone right there. Number 8, you focus on others' feelings, not yours. You take on the role of therapist or question asker, but rarely let others see your heart. I'm definitely guilty of that, especially as a coach. Naturally, I do that. But also in relationships, I can see you, but you can't see me. So I'm going to control the conversation. I'm going to ask you all the questions. And I don't even do it intentionally. It's just that I never feel like anybody genuinely wants to go really deep with me. And I'm an intense person. So I'll control the conversation to keep the conversation and make you feel special, because I've never actually felt special enough for people to ask questions or to care. There's only one person in my life right now that does that for me. Number 9, you fear being a burden. So you'd rather deal with emotions alone than risk someone seeing your needs as too much. When in your life have you felt like your needs were too much? Or when in your life have you expressed that you needed help and no one came through for you? Number 10, you confuse intensity with intimacy. So sexual or dramatic connections feel easier than quiet emotional closeness or that slow burn. You just love the intensity, the romance, the lust, the oh my God, I got a crush on that person. Oh my God, he just texted me. Oh my God, we just met up. Oh my God, he's asked me on a date. You love that rush. But the slow burner, you're like, nah, I don't like him. He's too nice. He's too boring. Because it feels easier and known to rush intimacy than for someone to peel you back like an onion, layer by layer by layer by layer, uncovering who is this girl? What does she like? What doesn't she like? What are her dreams? What are her hopes? To actually be seen as the most beautiful thing on this earth, and I wish that for all of you, but you have to allow yourself to be seen. Number 11, you keep yourself busy to avoid feelings. Guilty. So you keep working, you keep scrolling, you're constantly busy with activities here, there, everywhere. If you have kids, you're constantly running and chasing them. If you're in a relationship, you're constantly going and doing something for him, hiding under his armpit, wanting to crawl into his skin. Ladies, I see you. The constant activity keeps your mind busy and distracts you from sitting with those uncomfortable emotions. Number 12, you secretly envy emotionally expressive women. You judge them as too much, but deep down, you wish you could be that open. When you see someone cry on demand, you're like, oh, they're just looking for sympathy. Is it their fault that you haven't cried in 10 years? It's not their fault. Number 13, you feel guilty about even having needs. You feel guilty about needing assurance, needing someone to pat you on the shoulder and say it's going to be okay. You feel guilty about needing comfort or attention. It feels embarrassing or weak to you. Like, now I'm strong. You're not strong, you're used to being strong. For some of us, there was no other option, but that's no longer the case now. You're no longer a child. You're no longer helpless. There are people out there that can help you, but you have to open up. Number 14, you often feel misunderstood. You assume others won't get you, so you stop trying to share. And that's really sad. But some of us, like, we have this strong outside appearance that is like, I'm good, I got this. Especially as Black women. I'm strong, I got this. But you don't. So you often feel misunderstood. If you said something like, oh, or if you was upset about something, people don't actually see that as you asking for help. They just see it as you being moany or grumpy, and then you end up feeling misunderstood because you feel like, well, I am sharing how I feel, but you're not sharing how you feel. You're complaining, you're angry, you're not going deep down and really sitting with those feelings and saying, ouch, that hurt. Number 15, you sabotage closeness. So when someone gets too close, you pick fights, you pull back, or you nitpick to create distance. A lot of women do this in relationships. Number 16, you feel safer giving than receiving. You feel safer giving advice, giving care or attention, giving gifts, giving compliments. Like, it feels natural to give, but it feels so unnatural to receive for you. Number 17, you minimize your own feelings. You tell yourself it's not a big deal, or you get angry, like, I shouldn't feel this way. Why am I feeling this way? I'm so upset. I literally used to beat myself up for having emotions. Even when the emotions were justified, I gaslit myself. Really, like, why do you even care what that person said to you? Why do you even care what that person did to you? They don't mean anything. Instead of honoring those emotions, you trash them. And so you you don't feel safe with you because you're constantly berating yourself. And that's why it's so wonderful for us to have friends, partners, parents, therapists, counselors that are safe spaces that can do that for us. Because sometimes we are our worst critic, our worst friend. Number 18, you confuse self-reliance with strength. You pride yourself on not needing anyone, but deep down you long and you crave closeness. Number 19, you feel emotionally drained in relationships. Do you know why? Because you're not actually expressing your inner self. You're not actually being authentic. Having to go out and constantly put on a mask and perform is exhausting. And sometimes connections can feel one-sided, like you feel like you're always the one pouring and pouring and pouring because you don't actually allow anyone to get close enough to pour into you because you're like, I got it, I'm strong, I'm fine, I got this. But this only makes you feel more lonely. And number 20, you long for intimacy but fear at the same time. You secretly want someone to know the real you, but the idea of being fully seen feels terrifying. Now, I have got to go. Just to leave you guys with something, where do we go from here? What do you do? If you have noticed yourself in these 20 signs of an emotionally unavailable woman, what do you do? Now, number one, now that I've made you aware, notice when you go for logic instead of emotion, when you're trying to understand something instead of trying to feel it. One thing that I always say is like, I don't understand why you didn't XYZ. I don't understand. And it's like a defense mechanism for us to stay in our own head. You don't need to understand it, you need to feel it. And when you feel it, you need to be able to express it. I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel lonely, I feel happy. It's not even just negative emotion because some people can't even tell you when they feel happy. And this is what crushes a lot of relationships because we start taking each other for granted. So we may be spending time with our significant other and just think in our head, this is so lovely. Oh my God, I'm so happy. But it never comes out of our mouth. You never say, oh babe, I'm so happy. And that's one thing that I constantly do in my relationship because I just express myself. I feel comfortable when I feel safe. I just say things. And I don't need to feel embarrassed that I'm being vulnerable. Like, actually, I'm very happy. Like, you actually make me really happy. Like I was saying, sabotage relationships because, you know, guys want that femininity. Guys want you to express yourself. Guys want to feel needed. Like, aside from saying please and thank you, when do you take time to affirm your partner or just tell your partner what's on your heart? Even if it's positive, like, babe, I was just thinking about 2 months ago when you did X, Y, Z, or when we spent this time together, or when we traveled, or when we did this. That was so great. Like, that was so nice. Like, just those random moments. But in the place of conflict, instead of saying I think, replace it with I feel. I feel, I feel, I feel. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it is very difficult to argue with feelings. But when you accuse and you point the finger at someone, it shuts down the communication. But when you open it up and say, I feel, it allows us to fit together. When you're like, you did this, you did that, you're butting heads. I feel. And the other person has time to say, I feel. Let's feel each other. Step number 2, reconnect with your body. Emotions live in our body first. So when you're feeling a certain way, you may feel a tight chest, your stomach might ache, you might have a lump in your throat, your heart may be racing. These are all indicators that there's something emotionally happening. So be still with that, recognize that, and name it. But like I said, I've got an emotional calculator that you guys can pull out at any time when you're feeling something. So you can download that in the description box below. Step number 3, build emotional vocabulary. Again, emotional calculator, all the words are on it. You can just read them. And whenever a situation arises at work, on the road, at church, you can be like, this is how I feel. And the last thing that I will say is to allow micro vulnerability. Allow small moments where you can be vulnerable. And don't start with your deepest, darkest wounds. Just little things like, I feel kind of nervous right now. And I ask, why do you feel? Oh, I don't know, just feeling quite nervous. You know, the job promotion is coming up at work. I really want to get it. Things like that. And the last thing that